Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to NS9 Postgame Show, part of Pittsburgh Baseball Now. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. Of course, going by myself once again, but it is what it is. What's going on, everyone? Pirates win today, 4-3. What a turn of emotions, I would say. The game starts out. I mean, just the briefest overcap there is. The Pirates are just baffled. Brandon Woodruff's pitching. He has, of course, a no-hitter through 4 again, 6 strikeouts. It looks like the Pirates' offense is just gone. Zach Thompson's pitching for the Pirates. He's struggling a little bit, gives up some runs, escapes some things. So the game's close, but, I mean, it just looks as if the Pirates aren't going to win this game the way their offense is looking and the way, of course, Woodruff is pitching. And obviously, this is also the Brewers who have Hader, Williams. I mean, they have a very, very good bullpen. Pirates win it. The offense shows up later in the game. And they pull out the victory. So I guess to kind of recap everything, once again, as speaking, the Pirates were just looking silly. Seemed like every other at-bat was a strikeout by the Pirates. Brandon Woodruff, again, he did pitch today. He pitched really good, but he got tagged right as he went out. His last 3 pitches were all for hits versus the Pirates. So he ends up going 6 innings, 3 earned runs. I got a phone call coming in. But yes, in those 6 innings, 9 strikeouts, just 3 walks. So, I mean, he was looking very, very good up until, again, as we mentioned, the very last 3 at-bats. Again, just 3 pitches each. It was Yoshi, Newman, and O'Neal Cruz. And O'Neal Cruz, I think he got his RBI off maybe one of his lightest hits all year. It went for 68.7 miles an hour, I believe. So, I mean, if 2-1, right? And O'Neal Cruz got a hit for an RBI, you're probably thinking he smoked one to the wall again. That's like the exact opposite of what he did. But that opened up the doors. So they get Woodruff. I'm not gonna say kind of early, but he only lasted 6 innings, gets him out. They put in Boxberger. Boxberger only goes 1 inning, gives up. Well, of course, 2 were charged to Woodruff, but then he has his own earned against him with a Ben Gamble home run. But I think that, so what was kind of funny is the play of the game last night was certainly Kevin Newman getting rung up at home plate, being waved home, I should say. But he had no business of being waved home. Gets called out tonight. There was a play. The out was made in the outfield. He hedges a little bit towards home, throws off. He goes, runs, scores. So Kevin Newman, home plate challenge completed today. So he scores. And then as mentioned, right, Ben Gamble comes through today with a big time home run. So that opened it up. Pirates are leading. Pirates win eventually. So shout out to Ben Gamble. Now, it's not as if Ben Gamble, he was the play of the game. He's the one that won it for us, but it's not as if he didn't come with some challenges today. I mean, he had 2 strikeouts. He ends his errorless streak, I should say. The last time he made an error was April 28th of 2019. He does make one today, which was pretty awful looking, but thankfully the Pirates and he was able to overcome it. So good job on him. Diego Castillo also with a pretty bad defensive play in the outfield. And Anthony, you're in the chat here. So I know you're the one who mentioned it, but yes, it didn't hurt the Pirates. The run was going to score regardless. But again, I just got to state, this is just something that's been bothering me for quite a bit. The Pirates. So they optioned Bly Madris, obviously, with Kevin Newman coming up and Yoshi coming up, which are 2 infielders. They optioned Bly Madris, who's a very capable outfielder who's actually been performing. It was, in my mind, is it going to be Josh Van Meter or Sorry, is it going to be Josh Van Meter or Diego Castillo that stays? Turns out it's Bly Madris who gets sent down. So they only have 3 outfielders on the team right now currently, which is Ben Gamble, which is Brian Reynolds, and of course, Jack Sawinski. So today, Brian Reynolds gets a day off. So with that being said, Diego Castillo has to play in the outfield. He makes a play pretty challenging. Again, just something that just really bothered me. I mean, how long have they gone this year with just 2 outfielders at one point, 3 outfielders? You had Bly Madris, who's very capable. I feel like, of course, Josh Van Meter isn't good. So maybe him being off the team would make sense. Or Diego Castillo being optioned down, because it would probably be beneficial for him. When we talk about development, him maybe getting everyday at-bats would probably be beneficial. Think about it. With Newman back, with Gamble back, and of course, Yoshi. Where is his playing time coming? I mean, we've been talking, but it's been limited already as is. Now, today with Reynolds sitting down and, of course, facing a righty, which didn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, he is more or less forced to play the outfield, so he gets his, at bat in. But you figure with Yoshi back, Chavis is going to split a little bit at first. He's playing more second base. So with Kevin Newman already coming back, also being second, Diego is maybe third in line for middle infield now. He's the 4th outfielder. So I think it's more beneficial for Diego to be sent down to get those everyday at bats, and also because he's not actually an outfielder. But again, that's just where I'm baffled on this year. Like, I get what you're saying. So Anthony says, if it weren't for the frustrating season, you wouldn't think twice of that play. McCutcheon did that in 2013, would have not been noticed. So I'll put it this way. I mean, Ben Gamble more or less did the same thing, right? It was the same type of play. I mean, the ball came down, went through the outfield grass. He didn't play it right. But the thing is, Ben Gamble can play defense. Like that's going to happen. I understand things happen. Ben Gamble, that's just simply, sorry guys. Like that's one time in 3 years has happened, but with Diego Castillo, like he's shown he can't play defense multiple times, with Hoyt Park out there, with all these other guys. And I just don't understand why you keep trotting out these guys that can't play. I mean, you want to give your pitchers some help, put a competent defense behind them. As I mentioned, like it just kind of kills me how early in his tenure, Ben Cherington focused on defense. Like, look at the signings he made, very defensive minded players and such. And like, I'll give him some kudos. Like, that's what Marisnik was. And of course, Marisnik is hurt this year, so that doesn't help. But you had Bly Madris on the team. Why didn't he stay? He's going to have playtime. He's not that young. He doesn't have to keep developing like maybe Diego could help and do so. So like, I just don't get that. Anyways, not to harp too much on that, but that's just one of my frustrations is just only having 2 or 3 outfielders on the team, and you have this plethora of middle infielders and having them play all over the place. Again, Cole Tucker, going back to him even. But yeah, so offensively though, again, Ben Gamble with the big home run. Yoshi, talk about him a little bit. He's come back since this IL stint. It hasn't been pretty, leading up to today, he had 2 hits and I believe 15 plate appearances, which were both singles. Today he went 2 for 4, 2 strikeouts. I mean, the 2 strikeouts were looking pretty bad, but his 2 hits, I mean, both hit the wall. The first one was on a bounce. The second one was right into the wall. I did look. So of the 2 hits he had, one of them went for 343 feet, I believe. I mean, it's not like the power's really there, but I'm going to say, I'm not even really going to say he looks much different, but he's going to get some time coming back. You're going to form a little bit of time off the IL to get back. I guess I'm just going to say kudos to this one game for him. I'm not looking at this and saying, hey, Yoshi's going to do something. He looks different. I'm just going to say kudos to this one game. On those 2 strikeouts, he looked silly. On those two hits he got, they were decent hits. They were good hits. They were pretty clutch hits. So good on him. But yeah, so Yoshi does go 2 for 4. Kevin Newman also gets a hit. He hit one. I was jokingly going to say that's actually why I looked and see how far Yoshi's other hit was, because I was questioning and wondering if Kevin Newman's out hit Yoshi in his return from the IL, but that was incorrect. But Kevin Newman did go pretty deep. in Kevin Newman's terms. So he got a hit today as well. And then O'Neal Cruz, as mentioned, he got that hit, another RBI. But let's talk about Cruz a little bit here. I know it's only been today, what's he at? 74 plate appearances on the year, 76 maybe on the year. I mean, it's still way, way too young. I've had some people even like tweet at me and ask, like, what do you think about for his development? Like, is it time to send him down and such? And we're nowhere near the time to send him back down. It's still way too soon to even entertain that. You called him up. MLB is still a development. Development can still happen with the MLB. And it's only 76 plate appearances. This is good for him. I mean, you want to see results, but you want to let him see major league pitching. He's got to master that, not minor league pitching. So to me, he still needs to be up here. It's way too early to still be entertaining the thought of sending him down. All right. But I definitely will say he's certainly struggling. When we talked at the very, very beginning of his call-up, much like Jack Sawinski, he didn't look too fooled. I liked his at-bats, even though the results weren't always there. At this point in time, I think a lot of teams have figured him out, especially the Brewers right now. I mean, it seemed as if now, obviously, yesterday was a lefty as well, especially when lefties are up. I mean, it's like slider low and away every time, but they're certainly pitching him down low and away. He's swinging and chasing a lot lately. So I can certainly see O'Neal Cruz struggling right now. It's not what you wanted to see at this point in time. However, he's got to see this stuff. Like, he has to adjust. He's going to have to develop and keep going. So he does get a hit today, but he also is looking pretty silly at the plate, as he has for a bit of time lately. But yeah, so O'Neal Cruz does go 1 for 3 as mentioned, and he gets a walk. So he does get another walk with that being said. But that was your offense. So just 5 hits. Pirates win on just 5 hits. Brewers had 9 today. Talking about the pitching, Zach Thompson. So again, I know he's coming back from his IL. This is his second return or second outing from the IL. Wasn't that great. I mean, he didn't have command of his pitches much at all. I know through the first 2 innings, he actually threw more balls than he threw strikes. And I was ready right into the 4th inning. I was ready to send a tweet out because he had 2 outs almost right away. And I was saying, you know what? Even though Zach Thompson started bad, it was nice to see that he regained his command. He's pitching better. I think he only had 6 balls at that point in time in those 2 innings. And then it was a struggle for that last out. It seemed as if he lost the command again. They were getting hits. He escaped. So again, much like JT Brubaker's start, where he was allowing a lot of base runners, right? Although JT had 5 walks, I believe. Thompson had 3 walks, 6 hits in his 4.2. So he escaped a little bit as well. He left with just 2 earned runs out of all that, but he did not look too great at all today. Then of course Eric Stout came in. He got it done. But I want to say shout out to the rest of the bullpen. So it was another very good quality outing from all the bullpen pitchers. Chase DeYoung comes in, does a job. Dwayne Underwood had a big inning. And Jim, excuse me, I see you creeping in the comments. So I'm not sure if you're still here. But again, I'm here to tell you that Dwayne Underwood Jr. is legit. I'm not out here saying that he's a back of the back end of the bullpen type pitcher. He's not your 8th or 9th, right? But that was a big outing because there was 2 bloops that he gave up right away. 2 easy hits that weren't hit too hard. As a matter of fact, to Brian Hayes, probably, I mean, that's a ball you would probably expect him to get, but of course, it's also not an easy out by any means. It's just Brian Hayes is such a good defender that he makes things look easy. But you almost were expecting to get that out. He doesn't get the ball. Then O'Neal Cruz gets to it and throws a laser to second. I mean, that ball, once again, there's another one of those things where you look at O'Neal Cruz and go, holy hell, how does this happen? It just was off. I mean, it was maybe 2 feet to the left for, I think it was Newman who got to it and then couldn't make the tag. But, I mean, if that ball was on, that was out. And I think it was Castanera that hit that. But either way, Cruz also made a great play on that. But he ends up being safe. And the next batter bloops it, shallow right field. So 2 on. And then Dwayne Underwood Jr. just shuts the rest of the guys down. So the next 3 batters, he gets 2 strikeouts and ground out, ends the inning. So a big inning from Dwayne Underwood Jr. Will Crow comes in after him into the 8th, does Will Crow stuff. 1, 2, 3, they're out. And then, of course, David Bednar comes in, shuts the game down, gets his 15th save of the season. No hits, no walks, a strikeout. Again, David Bednar just looking like his old self. So with that said, maybe be good to limit to David Bednar to just maybe 1.2, maybe 2 innings an outing right now. Coming back from an injury, maybe slow down a little bit. Let's use that bullpen. And hey, like it'll be really nice when Dylan Peters comes back and maybe gets a little more length to that bullpen. But yeah, I mean, again, like the beginning of the game looked like it was going to be awful. And then it turned on that Gamble home run. And then they just showed out. Bullpen shut this team down. Brewers couldn't do anything. Derek Shelton gets ejected today, by the way. I mean, that's one thing that we always talk about. Like, when's he going to have his teams back? And what I thought was funny was like, this was the least amount of chattering I think I saw him do with the umpire, and he got ejected today. So I'm not sure, I'm not sure how that happened, but he gets ejected and then immediately they scored 3 runs. So I don't know. Maybe do that more, Shelton. And then Christian Yelich gets ejected at the very, very end of the game as well, because that ump was terrible today. And I mean, I get Christian Yelich's argument too, but the reason Shelton was, ejected was because of Brian Reynolds' strike 3 call, which was really, really bad. But by the way, just some grapes as well. And I know I harp on this guy, but it's like Brian Reynolds got called out on a strike 3, which is low and away. It was clearly not a strike, but he gets called out. And then Josh Mander comes up the bat right next and sees 2 pitches go right low and away and just stares at him. So I don't know. That just bothered me as well. I just needed to say that, get it off my chest. But yeah. So that's the game. Pirates, as I mentioned, do win 4-3 this year. I'm sorry, today. So hey, good game. They do play tomorrow. Once again, Milwaukee. They wrap it up. It's a 2:10 start. You'll have Jose Quintana going against Eric Lauer. So it's another big outing by Jose Quintana. Let's see how they can progress his season as this trade deadline approaches, for those who may want to see him gone or not. But yeah, so hey, with that said, let's get out of here. Let's wrap this up. We'll be on here tomorrow again. We'll talk to you then. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.